routine inspection and maintenance of the network to provide customers with a reliable supply of electricity. GPL, empowering you.
Public advisory. Major planned maintenance for Saturday, March 20th, 2021 on the east coast of Demerara from North Sapphire to Liliendal and Graham's Hall from 9 to 15 hours. The reason for the outage is to transfer high voltage HV mains to two 14-meter immediate poles and one 14-meter transformer pole. 2. Retention of 4 pole spams high voltage HV mains. 3. Clear 6 poles spams vegetation. And 4. To remove old poles. On the east coast of Demerara from Qualgen to Enmore from 9 to 15 hours. The reason for the outages is to transfer high voltage HV mains and lines hardware to 6 new 14-meter poles and to remove old poles. And in Berbice from New Amsterdam to Kurt Barad from 9:30 to 13 hours 30. The reason for that outage is to service high voltage HV jumpers on Pothead and service 36 high voltage HV jumpers and transfer high voltage HV mains to 4 12-meter poles. And did you know that weekly planned maintenance allows for routine inspection and maintenance of the network to provide customers with a reliable supply of electricity? GPL, empowering you.
CARICOM General Insurance, a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc., located at 121 Regent and Ornock Streets. You can contact us on telephone numbers 225-1787 or you can try 269-0020.
Introducing our new Golden Harvest multigrain loaf. This 12-grain loaf includes oats, flaxseed, sunflower seed, barley flakes, wheat germ, and 7 other healthy grains, making our Golden Harvest multigrain high in nutrients and fiber to support healthy lifestyles. So whether you use it fresh, toasted, or make sandwiches, Golden Harvest multigrain loaf is healthy, delicious, and great for the entire family. Golden Harvest bread, fresh and delicious.
That's why everybody wants a piece of it.
A pleasant good afternoon to you. How in the world are you today? You're listening to the Wake Up Guyana show with Tony from Machinoy. Thank you for joining us. We are here Monday through Friday at 1400 hours. We look forward for you being a part of the show, and I want to start off by letting you know, as I always do, that I am very grateful to spend this time with you today. Thank you for joining us. Those who are joining us across the length and breadth of this great and blessed nation, thank you. Those in the riverine and hinterlands community, thank you. And those in the diaspora, the A, B, C, C, E, America, Britain, Canada, the Caribbean, and Europe. Thank you for listening. And wherever you are across the length and breadth of this globe, thank you for listening to us here on Kaieteur Radio, FM 99.1 in Demerara and Essequibo, and 99.5 in Berbice. The radio made a difference. Some other ways you can tune into this show is by going to Kaieteur News Online, also my Tuner app, and Radio Garden app. Also on YouTube, WhatsApp, and Facebook. The number to reach us is WhatsApp, text messages only. WhatsApp, Messenger, and text only. 622-2222, 622-2222. And I have some good news for you. We may try some new technology that just started today, which is those of you who wants to join us, especially those in the diaspora, that besides texting us, you may be able to call us on 592-622-2222. But we're not sure. We're going to give it a test. We don't know the quality of the service that it will produce, but today is a test. It's only a test. This is just a test to see if that would work. Our local number to reach us is 226 7453. 226 7453. That's the number to reach us. And as you know, this is a show for you. So I want to hear your concerns. I want to hear your complaints. And I want to hear your compliments. This is the show brought to you, by you, and for you. I want you to know that I want you to do the talking and I do the listening. One of the reasons I like to open the phone lines is because I learned so much from you. Just yesterday, we had a fantastic show where I learned a couple of new things, and I'm sure you did as well. For example, we had a caller who shared with us a little history of the justice of peace, how it came into fruition. Also, that same caller enlightened us about a will, how a will is so simple that you can do it yourself. You don't have to have a very high level of education or have gone to the university. You can do your own will. And he explained to us what makes the will authentic is that you have to have two witnesses. So that was very informative to me. He also explained to us the justice of peace, and I did not know this, supposed to be providing a free and complimentary service for those who are poor and powerless. But as we know, that doesn't always happen. So that was enlightening. Then we had a contractor who called and who informed us about some homeowners who pressured the contractors to build a house so fast and so quickly that the concrete doesn't get 28 days that it needs to get 100% full strength to cure. And so we had a very good discussion about that. We had many calls regarding this issue about building, about the struggles of not getting materials. And like right now, there's always a shortage of some kind of materials, and hard enough building is caller, good afternoon. Welcome to the Wake Up Guyana show. Go right ahead, please. Yes, go. Go ahead, caller. Okay, we're sorry we lost that caller. So before I get into today's discussion, I want your constructive criticism. I've been on this show a few months now, and I've talked about varied subjects, including politics. Now, my question, go ahead, caller. My question to you lost that caller. Is have I been fair and balanced? Have I been objective, non-racial, professional? Have I demonstrated integrity, and decency? Caller, go right ahead. Welcome to the Wake Up Guyana show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, this is Tony.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
You got problem at the Zillow.
Continue.
Hello.
I'm hearing you.
You got problem at Zillow, the man guy took spray on we farm, right? And the man doesn't say we have nothing to spray on full farm.
Okay, keep going, caller. I'm hearing. Are you finished?
Yeah, that man spraying on your whole farm.
Yes.
There were 7 people tell you to check the farm and not tell you nothing but everything was damaged.
Okay, and what
Whole farm.
Okay, what?
I mean, on the whole section.
Okay, what do you want me to do to help, caller?
And we didn't know what you can do because they didn't come in and then tell you nothing.
And how long they been promised you that they were coming?
It's 2 months we get for now.
2 months, and nobody showed up yet.
Yeah, the people have come, but not said nothing. They can see the damage and they're gone.
Okay, so they came, they saw the damage, and they said they will come back.
And they have come back again and they see the damage.
They came back a second time, and they saw the damage again, and they said they'll come back a third time.
Yes.
And they haven't.
Come and never never do nothing.
And they have not returned that third time, right?
Yeah, and nothing again, the same thing.
And you've been waiting for 2 months for this to take.
Yeah, all the tax are what.
Oh, I'm so really sorry to hear that, sir. I'm very, very sorry to hear
The
that.
whole section.
The whole everything, and not just you.
Guys took a spray plane.
Yes.
The man accepted and spray the plane with the 240. Now they deny when the company ground.
Yes. About how many people are affected besides yourself?
What 20 something people?
You're kidding. That's almost a whole village there, huh?
Yeah, but 20 something person.
Wow. And what are the people doing? Aren't they going to go down?
Farming.
Okay, they're not going to go down to the office together if there's so many.
We got minister, all would be already and we're not saying nothing.
And they just give you water to carry in the basket?
Yeah, they must say how guys go deny now, this one come, people come from Nari, and I said this happened, that one, the drugs, the plan, the drugs for them.
So every agency blaming the other agency, and nobody taking blame for themselves.
Nobody take the blame now.
And now you left stuck in the middle.
Yeah, everybody laughs, everybody depends, poor people.
I know there's poor people.
Brother.
And why do they treat why do they treat poor people like that, sir?
Right, they're not doing nothing.
Okay, thank you for calling, sir.
Thank you,
Okay,
brother.
thank you. Yes, sir. As you can hear, the very first call on this show is another poor peasant person calling for help from the big organization, big companies. Why is it that the poor have to suffer so much? Why is the poor continue to be neglected? Please, see what you can do to help these people, please. Please, they need help. They are humans too. As I was saying, I want you to give me constructive criticism. Let me know if I've been fair and balanced, if I've been objective, non-racial, professional. Have I demonstrated integrity and decency? I want to hear from you. The number to reach us is 226-7453, 226-7453. And I want somebody to call us on WhatsApp to test that WhatsApp and see if it works and the quality of it. So the number to reach us on WhatsApp is 592-622-2222. So try calling us on WhatsApp. Let's see. The phone lines are currently open. So the topic I want us to discuss from yesterday, we had so many people who wanted. Good afternoon, Carl. Welcome to Wake Up Guyana. Go right ahead, please.
Today we had so many people who wanted.
Go ahead.
Afternoon, Carl. Welcome to Wake Up Guyana. Go right ahead, please. Today we had so many people.
Are you there? Okay.
Go ahead.
It sounds like that WhatsApp call we having problems with it, so we'll have to try it again another time, Raj. Let's do it off air. We'll do a test run, okay? All right, so the topic yesterday was very, very popular, so several people wants to continue talking about that, and those who didn't get an opportunity to get on the air, now is your time to get on the air. So the topic was government signs $70 million in contracts for housing development. And there's an article that I read part of it, and I'd like to read another part of it, if you don't mind. If you were not with us yesterday, this article is from yesterday, Kaieteur News, on Thursday, March 18, 2021. And it reads as follows. With those deals signed, contractors are expected to commence infrastructural works and construction of houses in areas countrywide, including Cummins Lodge, Prospect, and Great Diamond. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, in considering the past reports of substandard work being done, issued a stern warning to contractors to ensure that quality works are executed on these projects. The quality of the work presented, he said, will later act as a determining factor in whether the contractors would be eligible for the bigger projects government has in store. And the last paragraph reads as follows, and I quote, and this is Dr. Singh words, "I urge you to be diligent in implementing this work. We must not have to chase contractors down to complete work. It is also your responsibility to ensure that contracts are in line with specifications the senior minister outlined," unquote. So those were some strong words, some fighting words from Dr. Singh to contractors. My question to you today, do you believe the contractors will pay attention to any of these strong words? Or do you believe that they will continue business as usual? So the number to reach us is 226-7453, 226-7453. Caller, go right ahead. Welcome to the Wake Up Guyana show. Go right ahead. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
I'm calling to make a complaint.
Go right ahead.
This integrated security service, right?
Yes.
They raised the money since last year to $60,000 a month. Are we still getting the 40,000 or whatever? And then the thing is, since February we can get paid until now.
So you haven't gotten paid for February month?
Yeah, they
You
said
haven't
that
been
they
paid.
thought
You haven't paid yet for March.
No, we doesn't have February salary yet.
Okay, right, and nothing for March yet. So
No, but March one we might get it till the end of
the end of the month.
I don't know.
So
They said that today they would have been paid February one. Now when you call the office in Georgetown, they said till next week.
So today is the 19th. So they've been 19 days late with your pay. Am I correct?
Yes.
And how often does this happen?
It happens all the time.
Every month?
And nobody looking into anything.
Every month?
Every month.
Every month.
January?
Yes.
January actually, we get December money.
Okay.
In some way late in January.
Okay. Okay. When you got paid for January, you got that money in February. Is that correct?
Yes.
When do you remember when you got paid in February?
Yeah, it was the last Friday.
The last Friday. So just around the same time, but 3 weeks into the new month that you got paid 3 weeks late, and again you're at just about
all
3
the
weeks.
Time that sometimes it just go over to the next month before it's the second or something.
Sometimes it go a whole month late.
Yeah.
And you need this money to pay your rent, you need to pay your light bill, you need to pay your water bill, you need to buy groceries. And,
exactly.
And every month you have
Yes.
to be late receiving your pay. So
Yes,
how are
and
you
then
how are you supposed to eat? How are you supposed to pay your bills?
I don't know. And then we NIS is over 3 years with this company, and they haven't paid anything as yet.
So when
How we
you
gonna make a contribution?
so when you work, you're not seeing your contribution being deducted. You're not seeing them paying your contribution. Is that correct?
No, they're deducting.
They're
and
deducting.
they're not paying.
But they're not
My
paying.
credit gonna finish. My credit gonna
Okay.
finish.
Okay. Thank you for bringing us to name the company
No,
again
I'd
one more
rather
time.
somebody look into this
Yes.
thing.
Tell us the company name again one more time.
Integrated security.
Okay. Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, as you can hear, two callers, both of them poor, powerless, living from paycheck to paycheck, from hand to mouth, struggling, working, have jobs, but you can hear the struggle that they go through on a daily basis. Put yourself in this lady's shoes. Imagine you working day in, day out, and every time for you to get your pay, every payday, you're told next week, next week, next week. 3 weeks pass and you still haven't been paid. How do you live with that? How do you pay your bills? How do you buy your groceries? This is the life of the poor, the peasant, the disadvantaged, the oppressed people in this country. Please, pay these people their money, please. The number to reach us is 226-7453. Caller, go right ahead with your question or comment. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, to Kaieteur.
Yes, go right ahead, please.
On the radio right now.
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon. Hey,
Good
what's my problem? I live in. I can't tell you where I live in.
Okay, that's fine.
But
You don't have to.
Timeri Police, when you have a problem there, right?
Yes.
And you go on a report. I had a problem for years with them, and if you don't go to the commander for them, you don't get no action. They will take your report and they will sit on it. And if you don't go and to the commander, and the commander don't call and tell them, man, yeah, I'll have a matter for such a person, it wouldn't reach the court. And then some of the police is working right at the Mary. And when, because they're working there, they don't do nothing about it. And it's not going on for now, it's going on long. And anytime you have a matter, like they take it, you're calling them in the night when they got nice and nuisance, and they tell you, it is like, I can't remember the word what they tell me, but it's like this thing is politics.
Yes.
When I go to the station and I report or I call them, they say people like this thing is politics. The who in charge telling you them thing this, like the
yes.
like who in charge for the station, like the big ones them there, and they're putting you off. I report a matter since the 23rd of February and on to now nobody visit the area. They may come because the buys them is work in the night. They've got the patrol van. But by the working there, they don't do nothing about it.
Okay, so Carla, what I'm hearing you saying that you go to the police who's supposed to protect you.
Yes.
And they treat you like a lappy dog.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And it's not nowadays. They do it not enough people.
And unless you go to the top guy in the place, you don't get any help.
No, you don't get no help. You've got to leave where you live in.
And your taxpayer dollars are paying these people, right?
Good. And when you go sometime, if you hear how they handle you.
I figured that. That's how they treat poor people, right?
Yes.
Like if you come in, you're begging for some food, like you're homeless, right?
Yes.
And they want to chase you like how you chase a lappy dog, right?
Yes, true.
Can you imagine that? Why they do this to you?
I don't know why, and I want the president to look into these things. And then I have another report too. I have another report. I have a land issue, and I ain't getting no judgment from it.
Okay.
Yes, my children them have some land. They is great for grandfather place, and one of the aunts survey this place and sell out the lots. Them now for take this matter to court, you got to get hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And not only that, it's going to take you years and years and years.
I'm glad if we can get a media cause. It's one aunt sell out the whole estate to other strange people.
So this is your own family,
yes.
Your own blood relative.
Yes,
stabbed you in the back.
Yes.
And do you see why I tell people?
Well, now we take the matter to court, but you know how much? One of them is 300, 400.
Wow.
One person have to pay that for the matter being court.
And there's no
And
guarantee that you're going
estate is for heirs and joint heirs.
and no guarantee that you're going to win
And it's
the
young
case.
children, they doing it too.
Wow.
Because when the young ones, them children, it left for heirs and joint heirs, because his grandfather legacy is an estate
Yes.
in Coverdon, right?
Yes. Thank you, caller. I have to run. I got
I'm glad
I got a break.
we can get a help with this matter. We can glad for me. You can visit us.
Thank you. I have to run. We are coming up on a break right now. We're going to take a break, and then Miss King is here going to read your Facebook and your WhatsApp messages. And we are having some technical difficulties with the WhatsApp audio, not the message, not the text messages. We're trying to see if we could get some calls on WhatsApp, but it looks like we are unsuccessful. We'll try to see what we can do, and we'll be right back after these messages. Thank you.
Caricom General Insurance, a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Caricom General Insurance Company, Inc., located at 121 Regent and Ornock Streets. You can contact us on telephone numbers 225-1787 or you can try 269-0020.
Introducing our new Golden Harvest multigrain loaf. This 12-grain loaf includes oats, flaxseed, sunflower seed, barley flakes, wheat germ, and 7 other healthy grains, making our Golden Harvest multigrain high in nutrients and fiber to support healthy lifestyles. So whether you use it fresh, toast it, or make sandwiches, Golden Harvest multigrain loaf is healthy, delicious, and great for the entire family. Golden Harvest bread, fresh and delicious.
That's why everybody wants a piece of it.
Public advisory, major plan maintenance for Saturday, March 20th, 2021 on the east coast of Demerara from North Sapphire to Liliendal and Graham's Hall from 9 to 15 hours. The reason for the outage is to transfer high voltage HV mains to 2 14-meter immediate poles and 1 14-meter transformer pole. 2. Retention of 4 pole spams high voltage HV mains. 3. Clear 6 poles spams vegetation, and 4 to remove old poles. On the east coast of Demerara from Qualgen to Enmore from 9 to 15 hours. The reason for the outage is to transfer high voltage HV mains and lines hardware to 6 new 14-meter poles and to remove old poles. And in Berbice from New Amsterdam to Kurt Barad from 9:30 to 13 hours 30. The reason for that outage, HV jumpers on Pothead and service 36 high voltage HV jumpers and transfer high voltage HV mains to 4 12-meter poles. And did you know that weekly planned maintenance allows for routine inspection and maintenance of the network to provide customers with a reliable supply of electricity? GPL, empowering you.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show with Tony from Machinoy on Kaieteur Radio, FM 99.1 in Demerara and Essequibo and 99.5 in Berbice, the radio with a difference. Reminding you that we are here Monday through Friday at 1400 hours. Please join us. And please join Mr. Lal tonight for the Glenn Lal show at 7:20 p.m. And also listen to the Glenn Lal show Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7:20 p.m. or on a daily basis at 1100 hours. Please join the Glenn Lal show if you want to hear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing about the truth. Please listen to the Glenn Lal show tonight, and he will tell you what the oil company are doing to Guyana. That is the Glenn Lal show tonight at 7:20 p.m. Miss King has some comments to read from your WhatsApp and your Facebook, so please send lots of Facebook and WhatsApp messages because Miss King is here today. Thank you, Miss King.
Gail Bacchus is saying you are trying your utmost and have shown great improvement. However, I think you should aim to look at certain subjects from a broader perspective. For example, you were very one-sided in calling for the death penalty, but you failed to acknowledge the fact that an innocent person can be sentenced to death. Thus, you should have looked at the pros and cons. You also seemed to be prejudiced and against the PPP regime. But we must be fair and admit that the present administration is trying to address the needs of all Guyanese. Rome was not built in a day, and we must give credit where it's due. Please remember that a journalist should be impartial at all times, must report on facts, and not a personal attitude towards those facts.
And thank you for that constructive criticism. And I encourage you, please continue to give me constructive criticism so I can get better. So this news on yesterday, the government signing $70 million in U.S. contracts for house building. It is my personal opinion that government should stay out of the construction business when it comes to building people homes. Because take, for example, there were some homes that were built in perseverance by the government. And if you look back at those homes today, you would hear complaints after complaints because government cannot build homes, should not build homes. Do you want another example? Look at GPL. GPL is run by the government. And how well are you doing with receiving 24 hours a day, continuous electricity with no power interruption? How is that working for you? So this is why I am putting it to you. Government, stay out of the construction building, stay out of electricity building, and just focus. Your job is to protect the people. The government job is to protect our people, such as the Guyana Defense Force, the Guyana Police Force. That's what government is good at. But in terms of building houses, please stay away from it. It will not work. We had several people who called yesterday and said that they would not want government to buy a house, build a house for them. They suggested instead of buying the house, the government building the house, they should give the people the land, let the banks give the people the money, and let the people build the house themselves. This way, they can get a much better quality house, and it won't be substandard work. So, Ms. King, go right ahead, please. Raj, you have a call? Call, go right ahead. Welcome to the Wake Up Guyana show.
Yes, good afternoon. I don't have much credit, but listen to me.
Yes.
Most of these guys service, and this thing happening for years, not today, not the last government, not this long. The guards don't get paid the month in that. They get paid 2 months after. You hear? And like, this government got to pay them because the money they come from the ministry. But when you to get paid, you can't get paid. I dare collect the money, and the guards don't get no pay till next week. Nobody gonna look into this. This thing happening not today. This thing happening long. Not now it happening. Not this government. Not the last government. Not the government. This thing happening long. I work with sources before now. Yet can you? And when month you get paid, this is supposed to get paid in March. You get paid till the end of April or close in May. That's how it's going. Nobody in the government don't look. No matter your credit, because labor don't help you. Thank you. Let's get your point. You ain't got much credit.
Thank you, sir, for that contribution. As you can hear, the people that work in the security guard business, it seems to be a trend that they get paid late. And it seems to be no matter which government is in power, they get treated like a lappy dog. Go ahead, Ms. King.
Someone is saying, Tony, just like adding security for those floating oil rigs that's being used by Exxon. It's a national security interest. If Guyanese is not involved in the security of these oil platforms, then our future is at stake. It's our oil. We must know what's happening in the ocean.
Thank you for that great question. I will tell you that when it comes to the oil industry, I am very limited in my knowledge. I will refer your question to Mr. Lal, who is the expert in that area, or one of you who are listening. Please respond if you know the answer to that question for me. Thank you. Ms. King?
Someone says, Sir Tony, good day to you and co-host. I finally received my first dose of my COVID vaccine. It was done at Ministry of Health Brickdam. I was really impressed of their professionalism, really on point. From the security to the attending clerk to nurse, everyone played their part of the highest quality and with great respect. I'm so happy I took my shot and would encourage everyone 60 years and over to do the same. Thanks. Blessings.
Thank you. And not just everyone 60 years age and over, I would encourage to get this shot, but I will encourage everyone, all of Guyana, to get this shot.
I don't think he's not encouraging
Oh,
everyone
no,
to
I
do
know,
so.
I know.
But
I'm just adding.
it's just that just the group of people that's being
Correct.
vaccinated at the time.
Yeah, so let's start with the seniors, right? And then once the seniors get their shots, then we go to the juniors.
Yeah.
All right? But really, the juniors, like Miss King, they're pretty much immune already, right? So anyway, here's the question for you. Here's the question. My question to you. Should government be involved in building houses for people? Should government be involved in building houses for people? And can government build houses that are not substandard work? Can government build houses that is not substandard work? So I'm going back to this article with Dr. Singh. Dr. Singh said, and I quote, I urge you to be diligent in implementing, you meaning the contractor, he's speaking to the contractor, I urge you to be diligent in implementing this work. We must not have to chase contractors down to complete work. Well, Dr. King, that's a monumental task. You cannot get contractors to come back and correct work unless you're willing to pay. Caller, go right ahead. Welcome to the Wake Up Guyana show with Tony from Machinoy.
Mr. Tony.
Yes,
How
sir.
are you?
I'm too blessed to be depressed and too anointed to be disappointed. Thank you.
Okay, my take on it, I was listening to your program every day, and my take on it,
thank you.
That you said government should stay out of building homes, but from my thinking, I think government building home it's a good thing, right? For one, the government is not accountable for building building good homes, but the contractor doing shitty jobs, right? And they are the one who should be holding accountable for doing shitty work, skimpish, and try to make more than they bid for, right? So I think the contractors, that's giving these contractors to build 20 houses, 30 houses, they're the ones should be accountable for these houses when they build and it builds substandard, right? And another thing on GPL, I think
before you go to GPL, let me ask you a question, sir. While I agree with you, let me ask you this: most of the contractors that will get the contracts will be people who are connected. So once you hire people who are connected, you can expect them to do standard quality work.
But that's one of the things too. The government needs to have a level playing field and included all contractors, not only friends and company, but all contractors.
And we all been hoping for that for over 50 years, sir. 50 years we've been hoping for what you just said.
I understand, but people need to, even not only we need to blame the government, but we need to blame ourselves as citizens to do the right thing. As you get contract from a government, and even if you're family, friends, or whatever cronies you are, right, you need to provide better housing system for people, right? You need to do your best to do things for people because that's where you're getting your money from.
But that contractor goal is to make as much profit as he can. And so what he's going to do, he's going to cut costs with material, okay? So he can make greater profit. That's the bottom line. We've heard people.
But I think we need to hold the contractors them accountable for it.
I-
Not the government,
I
but the contractor.
well,
Sign agreement that they will to repay it and rebuild whatever damage and for
and you know,
for stuff done.
yes, and you know what happens when they try to get the money back from the contractors? It end up in the court, and you know how many years that
But
stays
you
in the
need to
court.
make proper contract when you're giving these systems out.
Yes.
The government need to make proper policies.
Okay,
right?
go to GPL now. What are you going to say about GPL?
No, I was saying GPL run by the government is not bad because if you privatize GPL and if the fuel price go up, GPL with the private company would want to raise the price.
That's true.
Raise the cost.
That's true.
Which in the government stabilize it. you know?
Correct. But let me ask you this, sir. Are you comfortable with GPL as it is right now with constant blackout, power interruption? Are you happy with that service?
I'm not happy with it, but even though as consumers, people, you got a lot of people stealing current, right?
Yes.
And you get outages, stealing current, you could damage a transformer, right?
Yes.
And those kind of things, and you get outages, right? Damages in line,
But
damages in main.
you're making my point now. A private company would ensure that people not stealing current because that would cut into their profit. Do you understand that?
Why the government? What happened with the government to do that?
Because it's not their money, it's your money. You see, when it's your money, you deal with it differently. So that private company will find those people who are stealing and they will make them pay because that cutting into their profitability. So I'm putting it to you that we all agree 50 years this country, 50 years, we still having continuous power. 50 long years. So that's not working. So if it's not working, why don't we try something else? We could always go back to the old ways, the GPL, but let's give a private person and let's see if that works. What do you say to that?
Well, I think private company, I mean, it could work, and sometimes it run more than when the poor people can't afford it. So you would have to live without current.
Well,
right? Thank you for your time, Mr. Tony.
Thank you, sir,
All right?
for your contribution, and I enjoy this conversation. The very good dialogue. You know, I want to say this show, and I'm going to give credit to Mr. Gildari.
Yes.
The listeners on this show is such high quality that no other show in Guyana that I hear such high quality.
I must say thanks to Mr. Glenn Lash and you guys there doing a good job. And Kaieteur Radio.
And I want to say thank to you because it's people like you that makes this program good with your great contribution. Because I don't know everything, and I love that you took the opposite view from me. That's how we learned. I learned from you, and you learned from me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Well, this is why I like this show because we got the best listeners on this show, and I'm not just saying it giving myself credit. The credit goes to Mr. Gildari. He's the one that built up this listening audience. And so I feel very fortunate and honored to be on a show like this because I listen to some other radio station and talk shows and commentators, and the level of conversation is very, very limited. And so I am grateful to you that you make this show the best. We have people from the best and the brightest minds, and we have those who are not so bright, but they all make this show good and profound. And this is why I thank you for the privilege you give me to spend every day with you from 1,400 hours. So the number to reach us is 226-7453. Ms. King, do you have anything? Carla, go right ahead with your question. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Wake Up Guyana show.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Tony.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Ms. King.
Ms. King, he says good afternoon to you. Ms. King is sleeping. I'm sorry. Say good
what
afternoon.
I would tell you is that I would take a chance on the government home. The reason being, I listened to you. You say you're under construction,
Yes.
and I have done two constructions so far, two houses. And let me tell you about the stress, and I sure you can relate to this.
Oh yeah.
The
Oh
stress
yeah.
running around transportation, contractors trying to make you something that don't work. You know, you got to sleep at the place or watching materials from people stealing it and stuff like that. I mean, if you're a busy couple that have a job that you can't get time off to watch these guys, you can still get they can still rob you or give you substandard job.
Yes.
So I don't think it's a bad idea because when these schemes put up, there's really look good because all the houses be the same pattern.
Right, but
in a line.
here's you built your own. The government didn't build yours, right?
No, because at that time I didn't get a
Right,
chance.
and you just making the point that you have a private contract and you have to watch him, right?
Yeah.
And this is your responsibility, like you said. You have to be there at night to make sure nothing is stolen, right? Now that you don't get that with the government when they're building. Do you think anybody there watching those contractors there, day in, day out, making sure that they put in the right size steel for your foundation? And you know the worst part is that when the government houses finish building, they look very pretty on the outside.
Yeah.
But down in the inside, you can see it starts to crack the concrete because they do not let the concrete sit for 28 days so it can reach its full 100% full strength. So don't look at the outside, look at the inside. You look
I
at those
understand.
houses that they just built a few years ago, and you would hear people would complaining that the house is sinking, it's cracking. Even before they moved in, the concrete was cracking. So
yeah, that's true.
I
But I think that they're gonna be a little bit better now because I think that's good. Now, because I'm working for a contractor too, but in a different field now, but and this guy is really pulling it. He don't want anything because he's afraid the government is going to blacklist him and they're not going to pay him. I guess that's the basic rules that are going around now because they don't pay you off all this money and stuff. You get a payment in phase.
Yes.
And somebody from the government had to come and check the work in the phase, make sure you put in the right layer or
yeah, but
whatever
my
you have to
question,
put.
after a year or so, when that, because most houses, nothing happens to it for the first year. It's after
that's true.
1 year. Okay, and this is why most contractor will give you a 1 year contract on the house because they know not much is going to happen during that first year. But one day after that first year is done, stuff starts to fall apart. But at that time, these contractors that you mentioned, the government gonna have to chase them down, just like the minister said here. We don't want to have to chase you down to complete your work. They're gonna have to chase them down, and they're gonna not find them. So, thank you for calling, and we are going to the top of the hour. We're out of time. One more thing I want to talk to you about. I went to a hardware store today, and this is the difficulty about building. I bought the wrong wires. Okay? The wrong wires. The size, the wrong gauge. The gauge was not the right gauge. These are binding wires. I bought 2 rolls of binding wires, and the wires is too thick. So the contractor cannot use it. Unfortunately, and my mistake I lost the receipt. I bought it yesterday, and I lost the receipt yesterday. So when I tried to return it today to get a different size wire, would you believe, because I did not have the receipt, I am left stuck with that wire, $20,000 in wire, binding wire, that I cannot use and will be sitting in my house taking up space, all because the hardware store has a policy: no receipt, no exchange, no refund. To me, everybody who building will make mistakes and buy the wrong thing. Make sure you keep all your receipts because some of these hardware stores are unconscionable. I mean, these people could take this wire back and they can sell it back because I can't do anything with it in my house. It's not even open or anything. So learn from my mistake. So this is the part of my goal is to help you not to make the same mistake that I made. Keep your receipts wherever you go. Keep your receipts because some hardware stores are very unconscionable, and it breaks my heart to look at those binding wire. Two of them, $20,000, and I can't do anything with it. Miss King, do you have anything before we go?
So the first person says, "Good afternoon, Tony. When the contract for the building is being done, a clause should be added for a 10% of the labor cost to be held until 6 months after the completion." And next person says, "Tony, JetBlue outgoing passenger to JFK. Can you ask your audience, is JetBlue accepting PCR results or antigen results for outgoing passengers?"
Okay, can you repeat that last question?
He's saying if you could ask the audience if JetBlue is accepting PCR results or antigen results for outgoing passengers.
Okay, I could answer that question. Go to the American Embassy website, and on there, it will tell you what tests that you need for outgoing passenger. And it will tell you the designated clinics where you can get your PCR test done. It will also tell you that there's some various degrees of prices on there for the PCR tests. I had the test done a few weeks ago. I paid $10,000. There were other clinics that was charging $25,000. So you go to the American website, Embassy website, and your question will be answered there. If not, you can call back and we can assist you more. So we come to the end of the show. I want to thank Miss King again for being here and she's a great support. She doesn't know how much it helps me for her to read these messages. And please, Miss King, please continue to be here. It makes the job much easier for me.
I intend to.
As we go, I want to remind you to pray for our president, President Ali. I want to remind you to pray for Exxon, that they will be willing to renegotiate the contract so Guyana, you can get more money from the oil contract so that you can be able to put a roti on your table. And also remind you to listen to Mr. Lal tonight, the Glenn Lal Show at 7:20 p.m. and for a rebroadcast of that show on a daily basis at 1100 hours. Reminding you that we are going through some dark nights, some difficult days. We're going through a pandemic. We're going through high unemployment and a crime epidemic. So please pray for our country as we go through these dark and difficult days. Also, I am asking you to please remember that young man that was brutally murdered a few days ago, Anthony, 10 years old, and his funeral should be coming up very soon. And if somebody have some information, please provide that information to us. And as I go, I remind you that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And may God bless you, and may God bless Guyana. Thank you. This is Tony from Machinoy signing off.